in line with the public participation, there is an advert that we run in our daily news papers of national circulation, requiring our people to submit written memoranda. At the same time, notifying them that there will be questionnaires that will be circulated. Chair, these are bundles and bundles of responses that can be availed, and at the same time, the advert, it's obvious that it's available, and some of these are available in our archives.
Chair, on that one, I didn't ask whether they are available. I was asking whether it is part of the evidence that we have before the Senate.
Mheshimiwa, can you just answer that directly, please?
I want to be very precise on that. Chair, the procedure of doing a motion for removal, you first of all table the motion itself, then you invite the members of public after doing the motion. Therefore, the issue of public participation is not captured anywhere in the motion. However, it is upon us, or upon me as the mover of the motion, to provide evidence that actually the public participation was conducted by the County Assembly of Kirinyaga.
Senator Pareno, are you satisfied with that, or do you have a follow-up question before we go to Senator?
I don't know why he's not just telling us that either he has the evidence here or not. It's as simple as that.
Chair, the advert is available. The questionnaire there are the bundles that may be availed at a convenient time provided. May I proceed to the question from the senator from Homa Bay? Chair, on completion of this tender for velocity installation of the software for the hospital, Chair, I want to confirm that the next witness that is to come to the floor is the first CC Health and Medical Services in Kirinyaga County who resigned out of frustration. And Chair, the CEC will be better positioned to confirm that actually this system had been installed when she took over the office of the CEC Health and Medical Services. That's the much I can say on that. And it is in connection with that, Chair, that actually a system was in place. I ask myself a simple question. If the system was in place, which other system are you advertising for works to be done? That will be my simple explanation on the same. Matters impressed. Chair, I said it was a challenge to us when we do write to the Chief of Staff and the CEC to produce especially the cash book, Chair, which actually bears most of this interest that are accrued and unaccounted for. But remember, Chair, in the cash book will be attached a voucher that will confirm either this money was, an expenditure was incurred or not, or this money was picked up or not. Therefore, Chair, I would request the Senator for Homa Bay, please, at the point whereby the Chief Officer for Finance will be invited to give witnesses, let him answer this question, whether he made an attempt to recover the interest or not. And in the event he made an attempt, why was it not executed? Or did the governor approve it or disapprove it? We can get better answers from that other witness.
Senator Kajwang, is that your question?
Yes, Chair. I think he's deferred some of the questions to the next witness, so we can deal with it at that point.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll take the next round of questions from the senators. I know Senator Beth Mugo has sent in her question. I will ask her to, Senator Beth, would you like to ask your question directly, and then we'll take from the floor here? Are you able to ask directly, Senator Mugo?
No, it's okay. I sent my question concerning whether I think you can, concerning the health sector, and whether the connection of the governor with the day running of the health center, since there was the Minister for Health, the County Minister for Health, That was one part, and then there was the second part. You have the question there.
Okay, we'll ask it on your behalf. Let me then give Senator Githyomi, and then I'll repeat Senator Beth Mugo's question directly as she had texted it in. Senator Githyomi?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, my questions are fairly simple, but I want them answered. One about this vehicle that was purchased by the county government, the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Did the county assembly ultimately allow the purchase or approve the purchase of this vehicle? You had some few problems between the county government and the assembly. We heard about that. The other simple question is, there is a contract between the Ministry of Transport and various motor vehicle companies. They have even given the prices such that county governments, whenever they want to buy vehicles, they will go direct to the Ministry of Transport at the industrial area, and they will be directed who sells what the vehicles that they want and the cost. Is the county assembly aware of this? And if they are aware of this, why was it a big issue buying this one vehicle? Because I'm aware several county assemblies are buying various vehicles. For example, my county assembly, we bought 15 vehicles at a go and tractors. And there wasn't much of questioning how they are being bought, because they went straight to the Minister of Public Works. They got the prices and the type of vehicles they wanted to buy and the companies which can sell the vehicles. Is the county assembly aware of this? And if they are aware, why was it a big issue?
Thank you, Senator. Senator Malala, Chairman.
Thank you, Chair. Just on the same question on the purchase of motor vehicles, I want to ask Honorable David, you are alive of the fact that supplementary budgets are passed by county assembly, sometimes as a way of ratifying expenditure done by the executive. And if so, do you have any knowledge in the Public Finance Management Act that requires the county assembly to pass the supplementary budget ratifying expenditure of the executive? And if so, you knew about the misappropriation of monies to purchase the said motor vehicles, and yet you went ahead to pass the supplementary budget. Does this mean that you also participated in a process that is not lawful?
Thank you, Senator Malala. I'll take one more and then we'll do another round so that the witness doesn't get overwhelmed with the questions. Senator Anwar, Lamu.
Okay, thank you so much.
Please.
Thank you so much, Chair. Through witness number one, Honorable David, maybe you will make a clarification on this. Is he aware of a lady known as Pauline Kamau? What's her position in the current government, county government? And in alignment to that, there's a tender number CGK /TR and PW /02 /01 2017 to 2018. That's tender number one. Tender number two is CGK
Excuse me, I'm ready now.
/02 /039 2017 2018. And lastly is tender number CGK M0E OT 036 2017 2018. My question will be, is there any supporting document that is aligned to Pauline Njoroge or to the governor, Anne Waiguru? Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Answer those three, then we can take the next round.
Thank you, Chair. I want to start by the question from Senator for Nyandarua, Honorable Senator Githyomi. Chair, the question on the purchase of this vehicle, and I want to join this question with the question asked by Senator for Kakamega on Marara, is about the same thing. Matters budget is the county assembly that passed the budget, but the budget originates from the executive. Chair, the county government of Kirinyaga submitted the budget to the county assembly with the vote on purchase of vehicle as a vote under recurrent. Sorry, as a vote under development. Therefore, at the point when the requisition for the purchase was being prosecuted, the Controller of Budget rejected the requisition on the ground that purchase of vehicle is recurrent in nature. It's not development. Therefore, the county government of Kirinyaga was required to go back to Kirinyaga and initiate a supplementary budget in which the money will be relocated from development to recurrent. This was in the month of October, Chair. The supplementary budget that was brought to Kirinyaga County Assembly was submitted in the month of March the following year. But other than expediting on the process of budgeting, all waiting until the supplementary budget is finished by the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, the county government of Kirinyaga went ahead to secure a facility with a bank. And there comes our complaint or our allegation, the fact that the governor undermines the authority of the county assembly. It's required by the County Government Act that any borrowing by the county government must be sanctioned, approved by the county assembly, which did not happen. Note, in this bank guarantee or facility that was secured with the KCB Bank, the bank did not commit itself in signing or stamping the application. What security did they offer? And this brings out the reason as to why this issue arose. There is a retention account for contractors. Once a contractor does certain work, there is a fee that is deducted from the payment, and it's deposited in an account referred to as the retention for contractors account, which is run by the county government. It reached a point when the contractors started seeking for payment. And at that point, this money has already been committed as a security to a loan or to a facility. So the question is, isn't this an irregularity? Isn't this an illegality? Isn't this not undermining the authority of the county assembly? So we are not questioning the fact that the county budgeted or the county assembly budgeted for money for this vehicle and it was not done or it was done. The question is the process and undermining the authority of the county assembly. We're informed of the provisions of the County Government Act and PFME. Hope I've answered that area of the purchase of vehicle. Next, Chair, I've heard the Senator for Nyandarua and the Senator for Kakamega. Next is Ramu Senator, the question about Pauline.
Chair, before the Lamu Senator,
Yes,
there's a question that you did not answer, and this question was about the contract between the Minister of Public Works, or rather Transport, the contract they have with the various motor vehicle companies, and that governors normally go to the Minister of Transport at the industrial area, and they're given the companies that are selling the vehicles. So they go to them directly to purchase because there's an agreement. So they don't need to advertise for the purchase. I wanted you to answer that.
Chair, I don't dispute that. I'm arrived to the fact that there is such an agreement, a framework agreement between the government of Kenya and the various providers of that service. And I'm aware, in fact, in the previous, in the year 2017-2018, the county government of Kirinyaga purchased a fleet of vehicles via such an agreement, of which we don't charge because it was done within the provision of law and that framework. So I don't dispute that. Chair, I proceed to the Senator for Ram, and he's asking me about Pauline Kamau. Chair, you may not understand why the name Pauline Kamau is featuring in the whole of this motion. Chair, I want to bring to your attention that when Governor Waiguru assumed office in the month of September 2017, her PA designate, the person who was being paid by the county government of Kirinyaga as the personal assistant, is one Pauline Kamau. Chair, at some point, without any knowledge or without information as to why, the governor decided that my PA would have to be promoted from a personal assistant to a director administration. That's the question we don't understand. But we realize after Pauline is appointed as the director administration, we're aware that at the point of her appointment, there was a substantive director for administration. And Chair, I want to bring to the attention of this House why some of these county governments are having bloated wage bill. Is the fact that there is a lot of duplication. You realize when a governor comes in office, find there is a director procurement, you redeploy that director and you employ another director. That means you have two officers doing the same function. In Kirinyaga, we have several scenarios. Director budgeting, another director was employed. This is director administration, and there is another. And this deployment, once the director is deployed, you are not given the duties. You are just told to go and report in a certain ministry, and no duties are allocated to you. Therefore, majority of them are just coming to the office, doing nothing, moving up and down. So, Chair, I narrow down still to Pauline. Pauline is recruited as director administration. Go back to her file, the chairperson, County Public Service Board that recruits, complains to the assembly that I'm coerced to recruit somebody who is not qualified and at the same time the office is occupied. He submitted the document to us. The requirement for one to be recruited as a director, you must hold a minimum of a first degree from a recognized university. What does Pauline provide? He just provides a result slip from Nyeri Polytechnic, indicating that she did a diploma from Nyeri Polytechnic way back 10, 20 years ago. No certificate from NEC, no secondary school certificate, nothing other than a KRA certificate. Chair. Why wouldn't you find it in out of order that this person, a position that does not exist, person who is not qualified, recruited as director administration, and from there onwards, she automatically becomes the chairperson of majority of the tender committees in the county. So that is what we are questioning. And that's why the governor, this is your PA, you push for appointment as director administration, she sits in all the committees. You can connect. Why? Basically, that would be my explanation concerning Pauline and the sitting in various tenders.
Fantastic. Honorable members, I think we need to move. Time is really not on our side. Very quickly, Honorable Mpaye, but I think Honorable Beth Mugo says she's ready now.
Yeah, yes, I am, and I'm sorry, my battery had died for a while, so, but now I'm ready.
Yes, please go ahead.
I have a question on procurement and on health. I'm asking, were the accounting officers of procuring entities, tender evaluation committees, and person responsible for procurement of procuring entities investigated prior to allegations against the governor? And two, was the county executive committee member for health investigated or questioned prior to allegations being made against the governor? And were other methods of resolving issues surrounding this impeachment, especially within the health sector, attempted by the county executive committee's member for health prior to the impeachment motion against the governor, particularly with respect to implementing legislation and managing and coordinating functions of the relevant county departments? I'm asking because there are procedures and policies of running different departments of a government. And I would think that is the first stop before even going to the governor. Was any of those taken? I mean, did you do any of those?
Thank you very much, Senator. I think those are very direct, Honorable Kinyua. You're going to answer, but let me just take one from Honorable Mpaye Kajiado.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is on tender number CGK MOW OT 038 2017 to 2018. And down the paragraph, and I will read, it says, in total disregard of conflict of interest and in furtherance of a corruption and joint criminal enterprise overseen by the governor. I want to ask my brother here, how did they arrive at the name joint criminal enterprise? Concerning that, if a person is to be named a criminal, he must have gone through a court of law. The question is, have they ever taken this enterprise to court? And if yes, what was the verdict? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Members. Honorable Kinyua, please, very briefly.
Thank you, Chair. I want to start by the senator from one of the question from one of our great mother of this nation, Honorable Betty Mogo, on accounting and investigation.
Honorable Kinyua, speak a bit loudly so she can hear, because she's behind you. So a bit more.
Thank you, Chair. I want to respond to the question from Honorable Senator Betty Mogo and on investigation. Chair, I want to first of all say that the county assemblies do not have powers to investigate. County assemblies have powers to oversight, which basically means looking at the document and overseeing the whole of that process. And Chair, the main problem and the reason as to why this issue leads to a level of impeachment, because I've heard the senator ask basically what she wanted to know, was it the last option? Chair, I want to say that this was the last option. We have summoned CECs to our assembly, and some of them have failed to appear in the assembly, and they are saying to us that they have direct instruction from the governor not to come to the assembly. The same CECs, the CEC cannot append a signature to a letter that is transmitted to the assembly without the approval of the governor. Chair, the county secretary is on record while interrogating him in the assembly, confirming that actually they get instructions from the governor verbally. Without an unrecorded statement, what can you deduce that from a county secretary, a senior officer who oversees the public servant? Therefore, we felt that this was the last resort, and some of us, we have made attempts to go to the governor's office in person. Some of us, we are left there just watching her leaving and issuing insult to us. So I want to say that it was the last resort for us, and we had no other option. The CC held, actually the only CC held who has been in office in Kirinyaga County resigned and will actually be appearing on this desk, and Senator Mugo will get a better clarification from her. Next is Senator for Kajiado. Disregard of conflict of interest. Chair, once again, investigation is a function of DCI and EACC. And Chair, I want to confirm to this House that as we are speaking, some of these issues are being investigated by EACC, and some officers in the county government of Kirinyaga have been summoned by EACC to give evidence and information. Therefore, investigations are ongoing. And conflict of interest, Chair, how can you prove to us that you are the Chief Officer Finance?
Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order?
Chair, I think in the interest of time, we are taking a lot of time getting the response from the Honorable MCA, considering that we had 3 hours, 30 minutes for the entire case. Is it possible then we abide by your earlier ruling on the allocation of time per section so that we move? We have 2 more witnesses to handle, and we are looking at the time. It's already 5:30. Is it possible to shorten your responses so that we move on?
Actually, this would be your last response. Please keep it very brief so that we can move on.
Chair, I'll be very brief.
Okay.
And my point was on conflict of interest, that we have the Chief Officer Finance, who is Mogondadi, Eva Trading, a company that secure majority of the tenders in Kirinyaga County government, owned by a brother to Mogo. The shareholders are sisters, brothers, and children to the same family. Therefore, Madam Chair, I would say that automatically there is conflict of interest, and this is matter under investigation.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Kinyua. Now your witness, you can step down, and we can move on to the next one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, with a lot of respect, would you allow me to make a closing remark?
Now, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. The reason as to why I've asked this opportunity is the fact that I'm a member of Kirinyaga County Assembly.
Okay.
And not an outsider. I was elected to conduct certain functions which are legally provided and constitutional. However, Chair, I want to request the honorable senators not to look at this matter on the face value. Let's scrutinize this document in details, Chair, and make sure that...
What's your point of order, Senator Mazayo?
Kindly restrict the witness from addressing issues that the defense counsel of Waiguru will not have an opportunity to respond to. Because these are closing remarks, I thought it was just fair that once he has given evidence, that's more than enough. I think we have given them enough latitude on that aspect.
Honorable Kinyua, I indulge you because I thought, you would keep to the subject matter, maybe to conclude, to just say that you got an opportunity, but please keep it, then you have got 1 minute left. Do not go into details. This committee is seized of everything. We have volumes of documents. We are going to make sure that justice is served. So please keep it, and you've had a lot of opportunity to actually talk your mind, even with the questions that were asked. So keep it short, and let's conclude this.
Chair, I'll conclude in 30 minutes.
Okay.
I would
30
say
seconds.
that 30 seconds, sorry. Let justice be done and be seen to be done to the resident of Kirinyaga, since we are the representative and we are just conducting our oversight mandate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Thank you for taking the stand. Let's have the next witness, and I'd like to repeat again, let's go back to the timings. We're going to be very strict with timings now. Examination in chief, 15 minutes. We're not going to go beyond that now. Then we'll have the cross-examination, 10 minutes, very strict now. And then perhaps the re-examination, 5 minutes. Please, counsel, keep to that.
Thank you, Chair.
And please ask the witnesses also to be very concise when it comes to their responses, please.
I'm well guided, Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to call our next witness. Our next witness is a doctor, Dr. Gaur Godi Kirit Kurba. She has filed her evidence. It is at the back of the big volume, right at the back. Right at the back. Yes, right at the back, titled Witness Statements of Dr. Gaur Godi. She will exclusively be limited to that statement and the annexures thereto.
Let's find the, before she takes the oath, let's find the. Honorable members, have you found it? Have you found the witness statement? So that we're on the same page? You may proceed.
She may take oath.
Please proceed.
I, Dr. Gaur Gudi Kirit Kumar, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Dr. Gaur, we are constrained of time, and so we shall move very fast so that we can address the interests of time. Kindly address the members of the Senate committee as to your full names and your qualifications and your current positioning.
My name is Dr. Gaur Gudi. I'm the branch secretary for Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union for Central Branch. Central Branch is the former Central Province. I'm also a senior medical officer. I'm a holder of degree in medicine and surgery as well. I am a senior medical officer serving in the Nyeri County. Thank you.
Doctor, what are your qualifications? Do you hold a degree in medicine and?
Medicine and surgery.
In this case, how do you get connected to testify, or how do you why do you come to testify on behalf of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga?
As I said previously, I represent the doctors in Central. Kirinyaga is one of the counties that are in Central. And as such, when there is an outcry from a county that I am representing in terms of membership welfare, I immediately get involved. I'm an elected leader of KMPDU.
You're aware that the governor is facing accusations of having run down the entire health sector in Kirinyaga County, yes?
Yes.
What would you testify to that effect? How has she run down, testify to the committee, how has she run down the facility? When did the running down of the facility commence? And what are the consequences of that running down?
Sure. I request for the indulgence from this honorable committee. This whole issue of the deplorable state in Kirinyaga County started all the way from 2017. We have documentation to show the same effect. Several meetings and several letters were done to the governor and the county health offices, but they all went unanswered.
Madam Chair, perhaps through you and maybe just by way of guidance, the witnesses seem to be reading from scripts. I can see them, you can't see them from where you are sitting. They're reading from a script other than a statement. Perhaps those who have filed statements, if they can constrain themselves to their statement and not any handwritten script, then the ends of justice will be best served. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Dr. Gaur, please, could you keep to the statement so that then we are dealing with what has been submitted to us and we're not introducing new stuff, please?
Sure, Doctor. Maybe before you go further, would you want to adopt this statement as your statement? And would you wish to rely on it in these proceedings?
Affirmative.
Much obliged. Proceed.
So the issue started in 2017, where the autoclave that is used to sanitize and sterilize equipments for surgical equipments and linens broke down. Incinerator, a machine that is used to dispose infectious waste like amputated limbs and placenta from mothers, broke down, and several letters were done to the county, including the governor, letting her know that these issues have been going on, and lack of repairing of these important machines can lead to spread of infection to the workers in the hospital, to the patients, and to the community at large. But the steps were not taken, and as I speak today, the incinerator and autoclave have still not yet been fixed. Infectious wastes are being disposed in the hospital grounds that is accessible to patients, other health workers, and the community at large. Actually, where the waste products have been disposed, as it has been shown severally on television, is close to the pediatric ward, where we have the children. That has caused a lot of problem. Another thing that went on was because of lack of linens in the hospital, mothers that had just delivered did not have clothes to wear. They had to go and see their children in the newborn unit with lessons that they bring from home because hospital could not have its linen. The linen were being cleaned at the Karatina Hospital at a very minimal load because the hospital itself has their own linens to do. This led to a lot of infections in the newborn unit. I am talking about neonates. These are small babies. They are not even 28 days. They have not even learned to smile. And they get infection because of a dirty hospital. We have to start giving them poison. Medicine is essentially poison in low dose to kill actively living bacteria in your body. We have to start pumping poison in these neonates at a very early age. What does that mean for that child going on? They will have resistance to antibiotic. It increases the use of resource in this child or this patient should they get sick again. The deplorable hospital condition does not just affect the people who are in, it affects Wanjiko in general, because at the end of the day, the government hospitals are what is accessible to the public. As if that is not enough, the dispensary in the clinic, in the county was shut down, meaning that we do not, as we speak in Kirinyaga right now, there is grave lacking of promotive and preventive health, meaning that vaccination, advice on non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension that is prevalent in central region cannot be done. What does that also mean? That the hospitals like Kirinyaga level 5 is overburdened with those kind of services, and therefore they cannot do what a level 5 should do, that is palliative and curative health. That has led to many patients being overburdened in Nyeri County. I work in that county. 50% of my patients in the ward are from Kirinyaga County. As if that was not enough, all the other unions, after realizing that letters being done from the county health committees and even the former CEC, Dr. Agnes, all the communication about the dilapidation of the hospital was ignored, and all these letters were delivered to the governor's office. After the county officers failed, the unions had to come in for the welfare of their doctors and their other health workers. What happened? On the 13th of May, we did a presser, and we requested the governor to make sure that the hospital is up to date, because the casual laborers that were trained and specialized in managing human waste, hospital waste segregation and management, handling of patients from casualty to the wards, from theater to the wards, were fired, which made the entire deplorable condition even worse, because the casuals that were hired after that were untrained, meaning that they do not know the proper ablution methods, they do not know how to do waste segregation and management. That further worsened the condition of the hospital. Patients started sleeping on just Macintoshes. The wards were so dirty, and 3 health workers contracted hepatitis B and C. It's important to note that hepatitis B and C eventually predisposes these health workers to liver cancer in the next 10 to 15 years should they remain completely healthy. That is not something that we can guarantee. Other living facilities in the hospital that is given to the health workers is riddled with asbestos. Asbestos is the single most agent causing mesothelioma. That is an aggressive lung cancer. That goes against the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Our workers, not only are their lives in danger, but as we speak now, they have been fired for over 1 year. And I'd like to note that they were fired even before the strike was deemed illegal and unprotected. The reason why health workers in Kirinyaga had to go on strike is because we exhaustively searched for everything that we could possibly do to negotiate this crisis in the county, but we could not get any communication from the governor's office. As we followed up from 2017 to 2019, we kept getting answers that there is no money to upgrade the health facilities and all those things. To mitigate that, we went to the county assembly on the 2nd of July. We swore an oath and we made our case, where we were assured by the chairman of the finance committee that 1.5 billion shillings was allocated to health to mitigate this exact crisis that has happened. That's when we realized that we are lacking goodwill from the CEO of the county in order to mitigate this crisis. That is the genesis of our strike. And as I speak right now, all the issues we went on strike for, lack of proper equipments, human resource, the doctor-patient ratio in Kirinyaga is 1 to 30,000. We only have 6-7 consultants, that is one of each. WHO recommends one doctor to 1,000 patients. You can see that one doctor in that county is working for over 30 doctors, and still salaries don't come on time. They have not been promoted in 10 years. They are not taken for postgraduate studies, that is specialized studies. In Kirinyaga, we get a lot of patients with head injury. We have doctors who applied to go and do neurosurgery, but they were denied. They were denied. No specialization is happening. 3 doctors went to school to pursue their postgraduate studies, but they were unprocedurally fired. We wrote letters asking the county why they were fired. We never received back any communication. And I'd like the Honorable Committee to note that since 2017, all the communications that we have done through the union, none of them have been answered. Even the dispute, the labor dispute that we registered with the Ministry of Labor was not responded to by the county of Kirinyaga. So as I speak right now, I have never had a chance to sit down with the CEO of Kirinyaga County and discuss health matters at all. Even when we had informal meetings, we used to be stood up. So I can say openly that in health, we need to feel leadership, because health is not a matter of joke. When a patient dies, we cannot recover that. And when the specialists in your county, the people whom you have hired to take care of your health, tell you that indeed people are dying after surgery because the linens we are using on them have blood from other patients because the autoclave is not working, the governor should take it seriously. When we say that the kitchen, the hospital kitchen is dirty, the drainage is terrible and is causing hospital-acquired infection, the governor should take it seriously. When you employ a specialist and you don't take their advice, you're doing a disservice to yourself, to that person, and to community in general. Thank you.
Just to clarify some issues, you spoke about the shutting down of some dispensaries, yes?
Yes.
Are you aware who might have authorized the shutting down of those dispensaries?
Yes, we were told that that order came from the CEO of the county, citing lack of funds to run the health facilities.
I gather you to mean the CEO, the governor?
Yes.
How many dispensaries were shut down?
Over 30 dispensaries.
You know the reasons as regional representative why they were shut down, and are they in operation today?
They are not in operation. We even have a letter from the public health officer in Kirinyaga who did a letter to the governor telling the governor that the dispensaries are dilapidated, the grass is at the level of the hip, that is where pests like snakes are roaming around in the hospital. For example, Kebembe Hospital, we have incidences of snakes entering the theater. When the doctor wants to operate, first you have to be a snake wrangler so that you can finally take care of your patient.
Dr. You spoke about the issues of the casual workers who were fired, yes?
Yes.
What time were they fired? Before the strike or after this, during the subsistence of the strike?
During the subsistence of the strike.
Had the strike been declared illegal by the Labor and Relations Court?
No.
Could you be knowing whether the governor was involved in the firing of the said casual workers?
Yes. Yes, and there's even a public statement to the same effect.
Who made the public statement?
The governor of Kirinyaga.
You speak to the issues of the surrounding environment relating to the situation in which your doctors work in, yes?
Yes.
And you allege that, or you state that there are some asbestos roofing.
Yes.
Which hospitals are roofed with the asbestos?
The Kirinyaga Hospital and the houses.
The Kirinyaga Hospital.
Kirinyaga Hospital and the houses within the hospital that houses the health workers.
Has your union made any attempts to have that issue looked into or rectified?
Several times, especially after the arrival of the Cuban doctors, we realized that the Kenyan doctors have horrible housing. We tried to address it, but we could not get back any communication.
You speak in your statement at paragraph 8, you speak about reinstated 77 health workers, yes?
Yes.
When were they reinstated and who ordered or authorized their reinstatement?
During the strike, the governor had given us an olive branch that should the health workers go back to work, they'd be reinstated. 77 health workers went back to work in July last year, but their salaries were never paid up to date until on last Monday, the court gave the judgment to have the reinstated health workers be paid. They worked for almost a year without salary after reinstatement.
Did you?
Council, your time is up. I was just waiting for her to finish that sentence, so you may sit.
Pledged.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gore. Thank you very much. I think we have heard the submission of Dr. Gore. Now we will go to the cross-examination, and the cross-examination will take us just 10 minutes. So, Council, please, let's keep time.
I shall endeavor to keep time. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Daktari, if I may address you as Daktari, good evening. Good evening. My name is Paul Nyamondi, and I am the advocate on record for Her Excellency, the Governor of Kirinyaga, Madam Anne Waiguru. I want to ask you a question, and really just to put your testimony into perspective. You impressed me with your knowledge and your passion about the matters health in not just Kirinyaga, but Central at large. Tell me, have you testified before the County Assembly in Kirinyaga or a committee of that assembly?
Yes, I have, on the 2nd of July, 2019.
All right. Subsequent to the beginning of April this year, have you appeared before the County Assembly of Kirinyaga or a committee of that assembly?
No.
All right. Now, this committee is really here to seek the truth. And the truth is very important in respect of this matter. Impeachment of a governor is no small matter, and the truth is important. When is your statement dated?
19th June 2020.
19th June 2020. If my memory serves me right, that is Friday last week.
Yes.
All right. Now, I want you to tell the committee the invitation, the manner and the content of the invitation you got to make that statement. Who called you? What did they tell you?
I was called by the mover of the motion. They requested me to be a chief witness in the provision of the health, and if I can be able to witness and give my testimony that indeed, without the goodwill of the governor, the hospital have been deplorable.
All right. Do you remember when that took place?
Yes.
When did that important call from the mover of this motion come?
I think it was the 13th.
The 13th.
Of June.
Very important date. So really, you are here to add weight to the mover of the motion's voice after they have impeached the governor?
No. I'm here to speak on behalf of the dilapidated healthcare in Kirinyaga and fired 457 health workers.
I will allow the committee to make their own mind up about why you are here. But thank you for being truthful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council.
I'm not
Oh, you're
finished.
not done. Okay.
I'm not finished. We were just getting to know each other. That's the beginning. Now I want to get into the substance of my cross-examination. I believe I still have another 8 minutes, madam.
You do. I just thought you had ceded your time, but go for it.
I appreciate her candor, so I was just thanking her for it. So I'll ask you again, and it's a little repetitive. Why are you here? In what capacity are you here? You have told us you are a doctor. Do you practice medicine in Kirinyaga County?
No, I don't.
All right. Do you have the ability to admit patients in hospital in Kirinyaga County?
No, I don't.
All right. So you are here under the other hat that you wear as a trade unionist.
I am here to speak on behalf of the Kirinyaga doctors as their leader.
Their leader as a doctor, their leader as a union leader. What hat do you wear?
You can't really separate a doctor from who they are. So I am a doctor that's a union leader.
A doctor practices medicine, admits patients. You don't do either.
I do, but in another county, not in Kirinyaga County.
So in Kirinyaga, you are not a doctor?
No.
All right. You have testified about the state of certain equipment, an autoclave, an incinerator, and you don't practice medicine, but you know that they are either not there or not working.
Yes.
All right. Would you know, or would you find it strange if I were to tell you that in the financial year 2018-2019, the amount of, the not insignificant amount of 23 million shillings was budgeted for the purchase of an incinerator by the county government in conjunction with the Assembly of Kirinyaga?
And Council, if you were to look at my statement, you'd see in some of the documents that I've given, there are letters written from the hospital committee talking about the incinerator having the bricks broken. Way after that, 2018, that budgetary allocation.
All right.
Yes.
Just answer my question. 10 minutes is not a long time.
You have to talk through the chair,
Sorry.
not directly the council.
Noted.
All right. There is something that you also have made very heavy going of, and it is the state of asbestos roofs. Asbestos roofs are, if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, roofs that were, or a roofing material that was used historically because it was cheap and it was thought to be efficient.
Yes.
All right. Do you know when Madam Waiguru became the governor of Kirinyaga County?
About 4 years ago.
Give me a year. Do you know what year it was?
2016.
All right. Now, do you know when those asbestos roofs were fitted on those buildings?
No, I don't.
All right. And are those asbestos roofs only on the health facilities?
Through the chair, I wouldn't know that kind of information. What I'm aware of is the welfare of my health workers. When my health workers tell me that they are living in a house, and I like the way the council has said that materials that were used historically are still permanently there in 2020, I don't think that the question stands. If the governor wished and was an effective leader in health management, that asbestos would have been removed a long, long time ago, because we started complaining about this from 2017. Thank you.
That was not your testimony, but thank you at least for saying that the reason you're here is for the welfare of health workers. That was a little difficult, but thank you for saying it now. Now, you have collected all the ills, real, perceived, and otherwise, and placed them at the door of the governor. Yes, the governor may be the chief executive of the county, but there are other officers within the county structures who are responsible for health, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Through the chair, as I stated earlier, we exhausted all these offices. By the time we were coming to Kirinyaga, the CEC had resigned. We had a meeting with the chief health officer on the 24th, I think. It's in my statement. We had a meeting with him. He also noted that it was important to sit down, and that letter was written to the governor, that it was important to sit down and talk with the healthcare workers on the same issue. Yes.
All right. I want to perhaps hazard a guess or hazard a suggestion as to why you have placed all these either perceived or real issues at the door of the governor. Agnes Kashoki, does that name ring a bell?
Yes.
Who is she?
The former CC Health, Kirinyaga County.
And to you, who is she?
We have never met.
Have you practiced medicine together? Are you friends? Do you know her?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I want to read you a paragraph from her statement, and this is a statement that is filed here. It says, on the issue of running down of the Kirinyaga health sector, I wish to join issues with the statement of Dr. Gaur Godi Kirit Kumar, you, who is the regional representative of KMPDU and who I worked with closely during my tenure as CEC responsible for health, and whom I currently continue to work with in my private practice. Tell the truth. Do you know her?
We have never worked closely in medical field.
You don't practice medicine together?
No, we don't. She's a specialist and I'm a medical officer.
Is she lying?
I'd rather she comes and answers the question.
Nothing else for this witness. She's not very helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Pre-examination?
5 minutes.
Daktari,
Yes.
a question has been put to you by my senior learned friend, Mr. Nyamondi, as to whether you appeared before any committee.
Yes.
And your answer was in negative, that you never appeared before the county assembly during the time of the impeachment.
Yes.
You are, however, invited to testify on the question of the health status.
Yes.
Where do you draw your competence from insofar as the testifying on behalf of Kirinyaga County is an issue? Is it from your current engagement as an officer of the KPMDU?
Yes.
Do you get regular reports and do you have opportunities of visiting those facilities as an officer of the KPMDU currently?
Yes, I do.
From your testimony, has the situation improved in Kirinyaga County?
Not one bit. In fact, it has worsened.
You are aware that the county government is building or is constructing a multi-billion project.
Yes, I am.
And it is being constructed in the midst of your officers living in health hazard houses?
Yes.
And no priority was granted to such kind of renovation?
Not at all.
Where does the buck rest? Who bears the burns? Is it the CEC or is it the governor?
From my through the chair, from my various engagement with the county assembly, CEC, chief health officer, I have come to realize and make a conclusion that without the goodwill of the governor in Kirinyaga County, nothing moves.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we've kept time. Let's keep the same. I'm going to allow senators to quickly, any clarifications that you need from Dr. Gore. I think it was very clear, but if anybody has anything else for clarifications only, keep it short, honorable members. Anybody? Let me start with Senator Mbito, and then I'll go my way this way. Senator Mbito, then Senator Lamu, then Senator Pareno, in that order, please. Very quickly, minute each.
I'll just have a quick one for Daktari. Do you feel that the issues you've raised today are unique for Kirinyaga County, or is it also happening in other counties? You're the representative of how many counties?
5 counties.
So the issues you've raised today, are they unique in Kirinyaga County, or just for the region? Yeah?
To the chair, most issues are unique to the county. Most counties in Central Branch are not that dilapidated in terms of healthcare.
Yeah, and are you aware about the MES program, the Medical Managed Equipment Scheme program?
Yes.
Where autoclaves are being supplied?
Yes.
Would you say that Kirinyaga County was not supplied autoclaves, or what?
I wouldn't be privy to such information.
Because you're saying there's no the autoclave broke down.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's all.
Senator Anwar?
Okay, thank you so much, Chair. A brief one, Dr. Bor. Okay, you said you are a doctor, but you don't practice in Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
Yes. Your colleagues in Kirinyaga County, have they ever made any communication to the governor, or have a meeting to the governor and the governor has discussed them, or there's nothing prior to that?
Through the chair, we have tried communicating through the governor, the doctors' union, the clinical officers' union, the nurses' union, the lab officers, and other amorphous. We have tried writing letters to the governor directly, and not only did we not get her audience, we were chased away violently. For example, on the 26th of June, all health workers were tear-gassed. And then later, 2 days later, when we went to the MCAs to seek answers from the governor, we almost got tear-gassed. So you can see the level of violence that we face. Thank you.
Okay, maybe lastly, can the information that you have clarified be substantiated?
Absolutely. The tear gassing was televised.
Senator Pareno?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, God, for getting time to come and give us this statement. But I would like to know whether you have any evidence of, when you allege, like you say in your statement, that the trained casual laborers were fired and replaced by untrained casual laborers, leading to reduced efficiency, and also led to 3 health workers contracting hepatitis B and C. These are very serious allegations, and I would want to know whether you have any evidence, because I've perused through the annexures that you have given, and I don't see any evidence that any laborers were fired and replaced by untrained. That is one. Then the second one is because of that procedural firing of health workers, this led to death of pregnant mothers while delivering. That is a very serious allegation that would have called for you as a doctor, being the learned doctor you are, to have given us evidence that such death actually occurred. And I don't see any evidence or any documentation attached to show that there were actually deaths that were caused because of this.
Through the chair, the mortality records can be found at the sub-county records office for all the mortalities.
And they can be attributable to...
Chair, that is not what I asked. You see, we are before the Senate. This is a committee. You have a statement. Why didn't you attach those records? Because we cannot now go fishing for records in the archives of the other offices. Are they here before you?
Through the chair, I'd like the council to respond.
Council, do you have those evidence?
Chair, with your kind permission, allow me to draw the mandate of the committee, that the committee itself is mandated by the Act to conduct an investigation. So for purposes of aiding the process, it is procedurally fair that even the committee calls for those documents because they will aid the process. If you look at Section 33 of the County Government Act, one of the obligations of the committee is to conduct an investigation. That is the obligation of the committee sui motu, on its own motion, can call for those documents if they want to establish the truth and the crux of the matter. It is an obligation, a statutory obligation. Much obliged.
But any allegations should be accompanied, in my understanding, as much as, of course, this is a fact-finding committee. If you allege, I think the burden of the proof should be on at least the basic. What she's asking is reasonable. That since you allege, can we find the support documentation? Don't you think?
Yes, Chair. We provided what was within our ability and humanly possible to provide, but that does not limit the powers of the committee under Section 33 to do their own investigation in search of the truth.
Noted.
Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Chair, in other words, what the council is telling us is that we should now be the one to give evidence on their behalf. Is that what he's asking this committee to do? With due respect.
Madam Chair, my learned friend has argued a point of law. Can I respond on that point of law, please?
Okay, for 1 minute.
Now, Article 52 is very clear that there is a presumption of innocence on any person who is charged. That is a law in Kenya. And because of that presumption, there is an obligation on any party making any allegation to assert it. If you look at the Evidence Act, Section 107 going all the way to Section 110, it is very clear that he who asserts must prove. That is a law in Kenya. And if you look at that in light of the Article 50 and also in light of the sections we had quoted earlier from the Fair Administration Practices Act, the party who alleges has to furnish the other person with evidence so that they can be able to exercise their right to challenge that evidence. Now, the issue is a witness has come today, has testified on issues, some of which are not even in the statement. The governor has not had a chance to respond to them because these statements were not in the motion that was served on the governor before she came before this committee. She only saw the statement this Saturday, after she had filed her documents.
Yeah, allow me to briefly respond and join issues, if you may, that Council seems to have misconceived the process that we are now engaged in. We are not engaged in a criminal trial, so that the presumption of innocence is called upon to apply. Remember, even when the governor was read the charges, she was not called upon to plead guilty or not guilty, simply because we are in a different arena, completely from what counsel is casually engaged in. However, could we read what the law says? That is section 33, subsection 3B. Sorry, 4. It says, the special committee appointed under subsection 3B shall investigate the matter. The reading of the law, and my seniors and my doctor, my teacher, Dr. Okello, who taught me in the Kenya School of Law, and Mr. Kamodho, who also taught me in the Kenya School of Law, will bear me witness on the interpretation of this provision. That committee has a duty on its own motion to investigate this matter. Remember, we are on a fact-finding mission. Why is the committee given an opportunity? Because the committee is perceived as an arbiter, as a neutral arbiter, so that each case is determined on its own facts. There is no provision in law, most importantly guiding the question of impeachment, that calls upon the county assembly to investigate. It is not an investigator, but this committee has been bestowed with that statutory power. We urge the committee to invoke section 4, subsection 4, paragraph A, so that we can get to the crux of the matter. Allegations have been made. Maternal mothers are dying. We are struggling with the Beyond Zero campaign. Why are maternal mothers dying still to date in Kirinyaga?
Council, I'll rule you out of order now. What I'll say is I'll close this matter. The committee is seized of all the submissions now. It will make its decision. And we know what the rules of procedure are as far as Senate committee investigations are, and so we shall be guided by that. I thank you, Dr. Gore. I think you've done your civic duty as a Kenyan and as trade unionist, as a doctor. Thank you very much. We've taken your submission and we will make our decision. Oh, would you like to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Kumar, or Dr. Gore,
Yes.
I want to believe that this is your personal statement.
Yes.
And you believe in it.
Yes.
And you can attest that everything that you've said here is true, according to your knowledge.
Yes.
I want to refer you to the fourth pointer, that all the hospitals and health centers are not adherent to Occupational Safety and Health Act, and thus harboring snakes and other dangerous rodents within the precincts of the hospitals. I want to ask you, have you visited all the hospitals and health centers in Kirinyaga?
I have visited most.
But in your statement, the key word is that all the hospitals and health centers, all, underline, bolden, and put uppercase on the word all. So are you saying that you want to amend your statement to read some of the hospitals and not all?
Through the chair, I mean all. This can be correlated with a statement given by the public health officer in Kirinyaga County.
This is your personal statement, Dr. Gore. Personal statement. So are you saying that you got your evidence through other documents or through other people's statements, or is this your personal statement?
This is my personal statement.
So have you visited all hospitals and health centers in Kirinyaga County for you to allege the same?
When I say most,
You haven't said most, you have said all in your statement.
Chair, as I was speaking, I said I visited most. When I said most, the others that I couldn't visit are not even hospitals. It's just a room inside grasses. So we didn't go into those grasses. The dilapidated health centers, dispensaries.
Senator Malala, let me rule that Dr. Gore would like to stand with her statement. The committee will make a determination on that. Is that fair?
It's not fair. I want her to ascertain whether she visited all. According to her statement, I'm not getting anything outside her statement. So are you saying that your statement still remains as you have visited all the hospitals and health centers in Kirinyaga?
Yes.
All?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think if the witness wants to stand by it, we will take it and we'll make a determination. Thank you very much, Dr. Gore. Any, Senator Kwamboka?
Mine is just one thing, because you've been called by the mover of the motion to come and be the witness. On regarding that the drainages are blocked and there is lack of water and electricity in the hospitals. Do you know the functions of an MCA?
Yes.
Which are those?
I could Google them. I don't know them offhand.
Let me help you. It is oversight, legislative, and representation. And when it comes to that, is it the job of the governor to make sure that these things are done in the county?
Through the chair, it's not directly the job of the governor. However, there are teams that are supposed to enable the governor to do it. We talked to those teams and we couldn't get anywhere because, as I stated earlier, it was made very clear to us that until there is goodwill from the governor, nothing can happen.
Through the chair, let me just clarify. For this job to be done, it is the work of the MCA to post the allocation of funds so that those services can be done in the Kirinyaga County. So according to the mover of the motion, the way he was directing you to be the witness here, he should know his mandate as an MCA. I don't see where you come in between the health and the duty of the MCA.
Thank you, Senator. Don't answer. Let me take a few more so that then Senator Githiomi, then Dr. can answer all of them together. Because
thank you, Chair. Chair, we have been told that the health facilities in Kirinyaga are in deplorable conditions, and we have also been told that dispensaries have been shut down by Governor Waiguru. 400 cashier workers have also been sacked by Governor Waiguru. Chair, I would like Dr. Gold to tell this committee, now that these very bad things have happened in Kirinyaga, and Kirinyaga people are suffering because they have no health facilities and they have nobody to resort to because they've tried and nothing is working. What would you advise this committee to do for the situation to be restored?
Dr. Gore and honorable members, I know we've gone very much beyond our allocated time, so I'll allow Dr. Gore to answer this, and then we close it here for this witness.
All right, through the chair, I'll first answer Senator Beatrice Kwamboka. I had earlier stated that on the 2nd of July 2019, we went to the County Assembly and we stated all those issues. And we got the chairman of the Finance Committee assured us that 1.5 billion shillings was allocated to handle the crisis that the senator has just talked about. So the MCAs, from my point of view and from the documentation that was given, they did do their part. What was waiting was the execution. Number two, advice to Senator Paul. Yeah. What he said, what should we do for the healthcare to be better? I know one thing for sure, after visiting all the 5 counties and meeting their governors, good leadership, effective leadership is important in healthcare. Healthcare is one of the most important sectors and it is devolved. And we know that the counties are still young to handle it, but they are trying their best. And I have realized, for example, in Nyeri County, majority of the promotions and postgraduate studies that have happened because of the goodwill of the governor. And I know for sure, if we get an effective leader, a leader with goodwill, a leader with the people's heart at her heart, at the core of the function that is done, I am sure that the health sector in Kirinyaga will improve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. as I said, you've done your civic duty as a witness, so we will let you go, but thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Council, we have to get the next witness.
Yes. I don't know whether it's, yeah. Our next witness is Dr. Agnes Gashoki. Her statement follows Dr. Godi's statement.
Honorable members, please find the statement of Dr. Agnes Gashoki. Before or after? Is it before or after? Get back. Some of them, they're mixed up here. Okay, let me call the hearing to order, please. Sergeant Adams, is the chair ready and sanitized? Okay, you may bring the witness in. Counsel, are you ready with your witness?
Dr. Agnes Gashoki.
Counsel, the same drill, please.
Yes,
15,
very brief
10,
witness.
5. We're really running out of
Yes,
time.
very brief witness.
Good.
Dr. Gashoki.
Okay.
You can process the
Yes, you may
witness.
take the oath.
Yes.
Yes.
I, Dr. Agnes Gashoki, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Doctor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know it has been a long day for you waiting to testify, so we'll be very brief with you so that we can also have time to accommodate other witnesses. Doctor, you on 20th of June recorded your statement.
Yes, sir.
And your statement is in support of the case that is before us. And that this statement you recorded it voluntarily.
Yes.
And that you read the content of the same therein.
Yes, Madam.
Following which you appended your signature, correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Would you wish, therefore, that we adopt this statement as your statement for these proceedings?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Having confirmed that, Doctor, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Madam Chair, I wish to state that my name is Dr. Agnes Gashoki. I'm a holder of bachelor's degree in medicine and surgery and a master's degree in obstetrics and gynecology. I practice obstetrics and gynecology, and I was the CEC appointed in 2017, Kirinyaga County, in charge of medical services, public health and sanitation until January 2019.
Doctor, where do you come from? Are you a resident of Kirinyaga County?
Yes, I come from Kirinyaga County.
Were you appointed the CEC by the current governor?
I was appointed as the CEC following the 2017 national election by the current governor.
And are you still serving? I've heard you mention that you served up to 2019, yes?
Yes, I resigned in 2019 January.
Was the resignation voluntarily, or what necessitated the resignation?
The resignation, I made a voluntary resignation, but it was necessitated by a lot of frustrations and hard-working relationships with the governor.
Where was the frustration and bad working relationship emanating from? From the which organ of the county government?
Madam Chair, if you may allow me, I can just give a few minutes of my tenure as the CEC member for health in Kirinyaga County.
Proceed.
And what I would like to state to this committee is when I was appointed as the CEC member for health in Kirinyaga County, being my home county, and with my background as a medical doctor and as a practicing clinician with over 20 years of experience, I was very excited because I knew that we had a woman governor, and with the motherly nature of women, I felt that this was an opportunity to improve the health care of Kirinyaga people. So I took the appointment with a lot of excitement, and I started my work. My first task in the department was to deal with the nurses' strike, which was ongoing at the time. And I managed to negotiate with the union members, and the strike was ended in Kirinyaga County before even the other counties, actually the nurses could get back to work. And then I proceeded on, of course, with the authority of the governor, and at her instruction, we opened the dialysis unit, which served for the Kirinyaga people very well, knowing that Kirinyaga is in the central region where we are battling non-communicable diseases, and the need for dialysis is very high. So we are very excited to open the dialysis unit, and we went over and started running the unit, doing a lot of dialysis, but we got to a point whereby we could not even procure the consumables for the unit. And the only reason we were given that the consumables could not be procured was that there was no budget for that. So we even started sending patients away who would come for dialysis. We started sending them away to other centers in Embu, Nyeri, in the Karira Mission Hospital. It was very frustrating. But we held on, and we continued with our work. My third most important task was the renovation of the hospitals. Our hospitals, the outpatient hospitals in the 4 county hospitals was dilapidated, if I may put it that way. And we managed to renovate, especially the county referral hospital, to a level whereby actually our residents were very happy and very excited. I think you all saw it in the media. Then we went on, and with the trust that I have with the donors, because being in the medical field for a long time, I managed to get donors to construct an eye unit in the hospital. And the eye unit was funded by the donors, Operation Eyesight. I know they are watching, they may be watching, and they can confirm that. They equipped the eye unit with the equipment worth over 20 million shillings. And they requested for an opening ceremony because the donors, some of them are from Canada. I made an appointment with the governor, and 2 months in advance, I informed her of the opening ceremony, and she diarized it in her diary. But when the visitors, the donors, arrived in the country, when they had actually already boarded a bus coming to Kirinyaga County, I was informed that it was not going to be possible to have the opening ceremony. And considering that these donors who had spared their time, they have made travel arrangements all the way from Canada, I had to actually put them in a hotel and buy them tea with my own money so that I could get time to have the governor come and do the opening ceremony. I had to leave them actually in the hospital and go to her office and convince her and plead with her to come and do an opening ceremony of an eye unit that was so much waited for by the residents of Kirinyaga. She finally managed to come, but you can imagine the frustration I had to go through that day to plead with the CEO of the county, who is supposed to be the one actually excited about this because the residents of Kirinyaga were going to enjoy a lot of eye care. This led to so much disappointment from the donors that they withdrew from doing another unit which they would have done for the people of Kirinyaga. And to date, any resident of Kirinyaga can confirm that that eye unit serves people from all over the region, Nyeri, Murang'a, Embu, because it is a very big eye unit with a surgical operation. So I was not willing to give up as yet, even though...
What made you give up?
I'm coming to that.
Yes, because of time?
Because of time, I would say there are many other things that went on. But what broke the camel's back, I may put it that way, I pleaded with I had constantly been talking to the governor, even on a personal level, because we used to meet in her office, myself and the chief officer of health, to plead with her so that we could employ more healthcare workers in the county. And I think the other witness who was before me has alluded to the shortage that was there in the county. We had a lot of staff that had retired, that had transferred to other country, and also natural attrition. And we needed to replace these healthcare workers so that we can have good healthcare provision in the county. Because the nurses were suffering, especially the nurses, I would say. Some were even getting miscarriages because they are overworked. They were working without leave. And I felt it as an obstetrician. Maternal and neonatal mortality is in my heart. I don't like to see a mother losing a baby. So we pleaded with her that we could actually employ these healthcare workers so that we can be able to operate all the healthcare centers and dispensaries. But I was shocked when she told me that I could go ahead and close the dispensaries.
Who gave the orders to close down the dispensaries?
The governor actually told me to go ahead and close the dispensaries.
She didn't find them useful to the people of Kirinyaga?
I think it was not her priority.
To have the facility fully functional?
Yes.
That is what you said was not her priority?
Yes. So I felt in my own capacity as a clinician and as a medical doctor, that was a step backwards in the universal health coverage.
The dispensaries eventually closed down?
They were eventually closed. Even the dispensary in my local village is closed down up to now.
So even that of your local area is not functional?
It's not functional.
Were you there, were you serving during the strike of the doctors? Were you in service as a CEC?
Now, when I was instructed to close down some of the dispensaries because we didn't have enough healthcare workers, I said that I will not be the one to oversee the deterioration of healthcare in Kirinyaga. And at that point, I resigned. I tendered my resignation to the office of the governor.
So were you there during the time of the strike?
Well, immediately after my resignation, that's when the casual workers were all sacked, and that followed the doctor's strike. So I was not there during when they started their strike.
Are you aware whether a CEC to replace you was hired immediately or not?
I learned that there's one who has been hired recently.
After how long since your resignation?
After more than a year.
After more than a year?
Yes.
Is that a confirmation that the governor is not concerned about the health of the Kirinyaga County?
I would put it that way.
Now, you have indicated a tender number CGK ICT OT 046. 2017-2018, which relates to the installation of softwares in the county. Yes?
Yes.
Are you aware of that tender?
I'm very well aware because it was tendered during my tenure.
Who made the need request for that tender? Was it your department or the need came from elsewhere?
I would actually, Madam Chair, I would like this to be put in record that myself and the chief officer went to the governor's office and we had a conversation. We informed that there was already an existing healthcare management system that had been installed by the national government, and it had just required activation. But she insisted on going ahead with the procurement, so we did not requisition for the
The need to procure did not come from the user department.
No.
Are you aware that these tenders, that is 047 and 046, were given to a company called Velocity or Velocity? You are aware?
I hear so, because I'm not in charge of procurement, but I heard that it was given to the Velocity company.
Are you aware whether at the time of your tenure, whether the software was working or not?
It was never installed. Even up to date, it has not been installed.
So there is no software of this nature?
No.
You have made, in your statement, you have confirmed and joined issues with your predecessor witness, Dr. Gore, that you actually agree with her insofar as the status of the health sector is an issue, yes?
Yes.
Is it your confirmation that up to date the status of the facility and the facilities in Kirinyaga County are still dilapidated?
I cannot confirm that right now because I am not working there, but I believe that because the healthcare workers were sacked, the status of the healthcare in Kirinyaga is still wanting.
Still wanting.
Yes.
Finally, as I finish up with you, how would you describe that status of the health facilities in Kirinyaga County currently?
I would say that it is really very sad to know that Kirinyaga County, even after devolution, cannot be able to take care of its own residents for healthcare. Many of our residents are still going to Embu and Nyeri for healthcare because of the lack of facilities in our county.
Why do you attribute this to the governor?
Because she's the CEO of the county and in charge of all the departments, and it is upon her to improve the healthcare standards of Kirinyaga County residents.
One of the obligations under Section 33 of the County Government Act, Section 30, is that the governor should offer leadership in her CECs and administration of the county. Having served under her, would you confirm that she is capable of offering that leadership in the CECs and in the administration of the county?
I think leadership is something that the governor does not understand, because leadership is different from dictatorship. And when you lead people, you show them the way and you guide them. But, Madam Chair, the governor of Kirinyaga County dictates what is going to be done, and you just do it.
Are you saying that there is serious lack of collective responsibility in the manner the CECs are run and organized in the county?
The CECs in the county, Madam Chair, are just there to ratify what the governor wants to be done.
Council, this would be...
I think I will yield the witness for cross-examination.
Okay,
Much obliged.
thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Agnes. Can we proceed to cross-examination?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My learned colleague, Mr. Muchigi, will start, and we will share the time with him.
Much obliged, Madam Chair. Dr. Agnes,
yes.
I just wish to ask you two questions. The first, you have indicated that the issue of the procurement for the tender, the two tenders, was done by the governor directly. I want you to look at your statement, please. I want you to look at your statement, please. Your statement.
I recall what is in the statement. Yes.
Have you directly stated that in your statement? In your statement, this statement, have you said that?
I did not state that the procurement was done directly.
Thank you. I just want to confirm that.
And I'd like to clarify this, is that the user department did not requisition for the health service management system.
I will repeat my question again. You have said that you sat in your office, you sat in the office of the governor. What I'm asking is, in your statement, Is there such evidence about you going to the governor's office when this decision was made?
There is, we did write in communication.
I'm asking about your statement.
Most of that, what I am saying, I came here to give evidence on what I wrote in my statement is about abuse of office, and I am giving evidence to ratify that. I am just making clarification and explaining how the governor has abused.
Dr. Agnes, I will repeat my question again. And please remember, we don't have time. So I will ask you, if you look at the statement dated 20th June 2020, is there any place in that statement where you have mentioned that you had that sitting with the governor and that decision was made by the governor? Yes or no?
We do not record.
Thank you very much.
We do not record verbal conversations. And if you know how the governor works, and the council is just trying to deviate from the main point, our governor does not write things in writing. We did write advising her that there is already a management system in the county, but she told us, she instructed us to withdraw that from the file, and we did.
May I proceed, Madam Chair?
Let's proceed, Council.
Dr. good evening. My name is Appoint, and I am the lead counsel for the governor in these proceedings. I just want us to start really at the beginning, and I want to ask you the direct question, Dr. Have you played any role? Have you played any role in the process of leading up to the governor's impeachment thus far?
No, I am not a politician, Madam Chair. I am here as a professional to offer my professional statement. I'm not a politician, so I don't involve myself with the impeachment.
So you have played no role, you have not recorded a statement other than this one of the 20th?
No, no.
You have not testified before the county assembly, you have done nothing?
I don't do that. I am a professional.
Okay. Now I want us to look at your statement. I hope you have a copy in front.
Yes.
And I want you to look at the beginning of the second paragraph, where you state, I am, however, aware that the governor is now facing an impeachment motion. Do you see that part?
Yes, I do.
I want to ask you the question, Daktari, how did you know that the governor is now facing an impeachment motion?
It's been all over in the media, Madam Chair. Everybody knows in the whole country.
Okay.
That's how I learned about the impeachment.
All right. Now, you have told a very compelling story, and I must congratulate you for what sounds like a sterling career as a medical practitioner. Congratulations for that. But, Daktari, that story is surprisingly absent from your statement.
Because the statement was to be brief and to the point. And what I'm saying is that what I have said here today is to qualify.
Let me just stop you there.
Yes.
It was to be brief and to the point.
Yes.
To what point was your statement to be, Daktari? Can I be of assistance?
Let me.
You're having some difficulty. Can I be of assistance?
I'm going to answer you. Just
okay.
Be patient.
Go ahead.
Now, in my statement, I have stated that the governor, in the third paragraph, on the issue of abuse of office, I wish to state that the governor adopted an intimidating approach to all the issues relating to governance in Kirinyaga County. And that is what I have said I'm qualifying.
Good. So the point, without putting words into your mouth, was to, now that you have understood, and the context is important, now that you have understood, as you have stated in the second paragraph, that the governor is facing an impeachment motion, you are now to come to speak to the issue of abuse of office.
These are issues that when I resigned as a...
Is that the point, yes or no?
Say that again.
Point of your statement, and I'm asking you a direct question, the point of your statement is to speak, now that you have learned, and I'm only just reading from your statement, now that you have learned, and you have said it was all over the media, now that you have learned that the governor is facing an impeachment motion, you are now, and you have taken no role in the impeachment so far, you are now playing a role by coming before this Senate to speak to the issue of the governor's abuse of office. That is the point of the statement, isn't it? The long and short of it.
Can I explain that? Because you want me to say yes or no, Madam Chair, and I would like to expound on that. I am a resident of Kirinyaga County. So I am privy to the information of all the ongoings in Kirinyaga County. I am not an outsider. So I have every information coming from the county is touching me directly. I have got relatives who are living in Kirinyaga County. They go to the hospitals and they find the hospitals are closed. So I am not just learning this and coming to give my evidence because I have learned there is an impeachment motion. When I resigned from the county, this is information that was given to the EACC, and that is an independent body. So they should be, maybe he should be asking whether there is any information that was given to the EACC to investigate that. That is a body that I can't talk on behalf.
Daktari, what is the point? You have spoken for 3 minutes and you still have not answered my question. What is the point of you being here? You have played no role. You're not a politician.
I am here as a resident of Kirinyaga County and a former CEC who was appointed and passionate about health to improve the healthcare standards of Kirinyaga County. That's why I'm here.
But what are you here to do?
I'm here to give evidence to show how it is difficult. It was difficult for me and how the governor has run down the healthcare system in Kirinyaga County under her watch.
Very good. It took us a long time to get there, but we did eventually. That is why you are here. Now, you have played no role. How did you end up recording this statement?
When something is happening in Kirinyaga County, and I'll say this again, it is not a private matter. It comes to, because being a resident of Kirinyaga County, I will know about it. And when I was requested by the members of the county assembly to record a statement, I obliged.
What did they tell you when they wanted you to record a statement?
They asked me if I could record a statement about my tenure as a CEC member and my role in healthcare in Kirinyaga County, and I did.
And what was the purpose of the statement you were recording?
The purpose of the statement was to show the nation that, indeed, healthcare standards in Kirinyaga County have gone down under the watch of the governor.
Daktari, does the name Tim Theory ring a bell?
No.
Do you know of any appointment or any name of your replacement that was sent to the Assembly by Her Excellency the Governor?
I've heard of, I think there have been 2 names.
You can't remember, but you can remember
the one
that
who
there
is
has
current,
been no CEC for 1 year.
The one who is there currently is, I know her name, and as I said again, I am a resident of Kirinyaga County. So if there is no CEC in the county in health, and I am in the medical profession, we intercommunicate, we communicate with the doctors in the counties, Madam Chair. And there is no way I will know that there is no CEC in the county. So I know when the CEC was appointed. And that's how I know that there has been no CEC to replace me until very recently.
All right. And according to you, the responsibility for non-replacement of the CEC rests only with the governor.
She is the appointing authority, Madam Chair.
Does the Assembly play any role in the appointment? You are appointed as CEC. Does the Assembly play any role?
Yes. When the appointment is done by the governor, Madam Chair, then the appointee goes to the Assembly to be vetted.
Would I be correct in saying that the process of appointment of a CEC is an act that happens between the governor and the Assembly? They both have a role to play.
Madam Chair, I am not here to say whether the Assembly is wrong or whether the governor is wrong in appointments of the CEC.
Can a governor
That is
appoint,
not my role.
My last question, can a governor appoint a CEC without the approval of the Assembly?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to open, and honorable members, please be very, very concise with this. If you remember, we did summon 2 more people at the behest of the county assembly.
So you seem to have bypassed me on re-examination.
Oh, sorry. Okay, 5 minutes, council.
Yes,
re-examination.
Well guided.
My apologies.
Well guided. You have been put to task to explain why you are here and your purpose. Is it your statement that you are here, 1, as a doctor, 2, as a resident of Kirinyaga County, 3, as a former CEC?
Correct.
You've been put to task to explain whether the assembly has a role to play. And you said that you cannot actually testify on that in respect of whether they are wrong or right. But you are aware that a name was taken to the assembly and rejected because of the reasons that the county assembly adduced, correct?
Yes, correct.
Did the governor react immediately?
Yeah. Madam Chair, that was not the witness's testimony. That is a statement that is now being put by counsel to the witness, and it's an objection I'd taken earlier. The witness's answer is that she doesn't know. Now she knows.
Counsel, can you withdraw and please ask the relevant questions?
I'm well guided, Chair. You are aware that that name was rejected by the county assembly for being non-responsive to the qualifications that were being sought, yes?
The name that has been mentioned by the lead counsel, now, yes.
And how long, are you aware how long the governor took before having a replacement of that name and sending the name to the county assembly?
I think it took nearly 1 year.
Since the time the name was thrusted, that is the name of Theory, and now the current, it took almost another year.
Yes.
Is that conduct that is consistent with a person who minds about the people of Kirinyaga County?
No.
You testified about the question of abuse of office and you're put to task to explain. And I gather where the learned counsel was coming from. What is, or what was the relationship between the CECs and the governor?
The relationship between the CECs in Kirinyaga County and the governor, I would say, is not one of a leader and the cabinet. That's the way I would put it. Because even when we go for cabinet meetings, when we used to go for cabinet meetings, which I think during my 1.5 years tenure, we had only about 3. It was purely to just ratify her policies. And even although we are appointed as advisor to the governor, I personally, for example, had several policies that I needed to be passed by the cabinet that I felt would really help to improve the healthcare of Kirinyaga County. But they would never be passed. They would never even be read in the cabinet because that was not her priority. We would only go to the cabinet meeting and read the one that she wants to be passed, and we pass and we go.
So the governor, it's your testimony that the governor runs her own show?
Yes.
And is it your prayer that this committee does adopt the prayers of the county assembly and find her as unfit to continue serving and holding the office of the governor?
Yes.
Would that serve the interests of the people of Kirinyaga?
Again, Madam Chair.
Counsel, please desist from the conclusions that the committee is mandated to make, please.
Much obliged. No further questions.
Thank you very much. I think, Senators, let me start with my chair.
Thank you.
Senator Mazayo and Senator Kamboka, and then we'll take next round.
Thank you, Chair. I want to be specific and brief on the issue of closing down all dispensaries. Was the directive verbal or in written?
It was verbal directive.
So you acted on a verbal directive?
I did not act. I said at that point, that is when I felt I needed to resign from the government.
So who directed all the dispensaries to be closed?
Because I was still following on what was happening in Kirinyaga County, immediately after I resigned, the cashier workers were all sacked. That was a directive given by the county secretary. And following that, then the dispensaries had to be closed.
So that matter brought before the cabinet?
By that time, I was not in the county government.
Before you resigned? Have you ever discussed that matter in the county executive committee?
Those are some of the statements or the policies that when we would want to discuss, Madam Chair, the governor would never allow them to be discussed because she had her own priorities in the cabinet meeting.
So it was never discussed?
It was never discussed, but we had a discussion in her office, myself and the chief officer and herself.
Okay, thank you.
And even the public service board. And I think there are also letters to the Public Service Board and to the Governor's Office to that effect on the employment of the healthcare workers.
That's all, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Mazayo.
Thank you, Chair. Just want you to confine.
Senator Mazayo, please speak up. Senator Mugo is also trying to follow these proceedings.
I would like you to confine yourself to very short responses. You said you as doctors, you communicate a lot, yeah, within Kirinyaga County and of course, definitely outside Kirinyaga. And because of the same profession, you must be knowing one another very well.
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm looking at your statement where you say, paragraph 4, where you say you join issues with the statement of Dr. Gaur Kumar, who is a representative of KMM PDU. And of course, you worked very closely. Do you know Dr. Gaur? Do you know Dr. Gaur, yes or no?
We don't know each other personally, yes. But I would like to say this, Madam Chair.
No, I didn't ask you to say anything further than that. I want to know also, I'm sure you've gone through all these proceedings. Do we have a mortuary in Kirinyaga?
When I was there, yes, we were able to open the mortuary at Cuyahoga County Referral Hospital, Madam Chair, and we were we were actually in the process of opening another one at Kebebe Hospital.
Yes. So if anybody came here and said that in Kirinyaga there is no mortuary at all, would be that a true statement?
No.
Thank you. If anybody today came here, or the witness who was there earlier, than you, whom I already referred to you, she doesn't know you, you've never worked together, she's never even, I think, either seen you or whatever, would you accept that?
Madam
And
Chair.
here, your statement says, just listen to my question first. Your statement says, currently, you continue to work with her in your private practice.
Madam
We know
Chair,
what
if
a
I may-
private practice means.
Yes.
Now, do you work together?
Madam Chair, if I may explain what I meant by
Do you
that.
work together in private practice?
Doctors, we communicate a lot. Even when we don't, we have never met. When Dr. Gaur works with my director when I was the county CEC, that is a relationship with the department, and that is a relationship with me. When she refers a patient,
Okay, I think
see a
you
patient in my private practice,
have
that is
answered
still
me.
working together.
Can you listen to my next question?
Yes.
You have stated that you are formerly an employee of Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
Now, being an employee of Kirinyaga County, you are employed at the time when you were requested to come and work by the governor.
Yes.
And of course, you made a lot of requests at that time, but they were not done in terms of whatever you wanted implemented, and you felt a bit dejected. Are you bitter that you left and this is the time to get either you want to hit back, or because of she's the governor, she never implemented what you wanted and you had to resign, maybe in protest?
No, Madam Chair, in my medical and clinical practice, I have taken a Hippocratic oath. I do not hold any bitterness, even against the person who has done the worst thing to me. I will treat even the person who has shot my son or my mother without
Thank you very much.
anything against.
And therefore, lastly, would you accept a statement that the health affair or sector in Kirinyaga is so dilapidated with that nothing basically is functional health-wise. Would you accept that?
I would not say nothing is functional, but it could be better.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, please, let's keep it very short. We still have 2 more witnesses to go. In fact, maybe I might just say this will be the last one, and then we can... I'll take the last 2, and then we...
Thank you, Chair. It's just a polite one. You've just told us that Governor Waiguru doesn't understand what it entails with leadership. My question is, when she appointed you, and she had trust in you, she appointed you as the CC of Health. During that time, was she participating leadership? And at what time did she change and become a dictator?
During my...
Dr. Let's take a few more and then we just answer all of them together. I think we are losing more time. Senator Kajwang and then Senator Pereno.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I was promised earlier that some of the concerns I'd raised about the health management information system would be addressed by the current witness. Dr. You have mentioned that there was a system already in place in the hospitals in Kirinyaga before this other tender was floated. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was it a system that was in use or it had been implemented and not utilized? Dr. Because, Madam Chair, if I took this approach, I'll not exceed 2 minutes. Just respond. Was it being used?
Madam Chair, I mentioned earlier on that there was already and there is still an existing healthcare management system which required to be activated.
The question is, Dr. Was it in active use?
It was not in active use, it required to be activated.
Okay, so when this tender was floated, you have indicated that you are the user department and you are completely uninvolved in procurement and implementation.
Yes.
What action did you take as a CEC who provides leadership for health matters in the county, seeing that a tender has been floated and a system is being implemented under your nose? Is there any evidence of action you took?
There is no system that was implemented.
So it is your submission that even this tender, having been floated, no implementation occurred?
Not at all.
Dr. Maybe you can answer Senator Kwambuka's question as well, because now that...
And finally, are you aware that payments were done with respect to implementation, consultancy, design, and implementation of the new system?
Yes, I am aware.
You are aware? Yes. Was there any part where the head of the user department is involved in user acceptance and testing? We have seen the governor's records here, records of user acceptance and testing, people drawn from the health department. Are you aware of your staff being involved in testing of that system?
The staff in my department were involved in the testing, but the system was never implemented because it had too many faults and the company was not able to correct.
So your view is that, your submission is that there was an existing system, there was no need to tender for a new system, and the tendered system was not implemented even though payments were made?
Correct.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Dr. Could you go ahead and answer Senator Beatrice's question so that you don't lose the...
Yes.
Can you ask Wakili Waiganjo to put his mask on, please? I'm sorry.
Council, you've asked. Thank you. Thank you.
So, yes, Madam Chair, I would like to answer the question by Senator Beatrice about the leadership and the dictatorship. When I was appointed, as I said earlier, to be the CEC for Kirinyaga County, I was very excited because I was going to serve under a female governor. And I felt that this was the time that Kirinyaga County was going to see tremendous change, especially in my department. But when I started working with her, slowly by slowly, I realized that I was very wrong, that this was not the kind of leadership that I was waiting for. And that is why I was not able to work with her for too long.
Senator Pereno?
Yeah, just two issues. You indicated that you got frustrated because you were not able to budget for some consumables in the department, and that you were told that there was no budget for it. Did you confirm whether there was actually a budget passed by the county assembly and it was now governor who was not performing her part?
Madam Chair, I may answer that. Yes, when you have patients, when you're a medical person and you have patients that you have to turn away because you cannot give them service, it becomes very frustrating. And I started getting calls from the residents, from the doctors. They were not able to offer services to the patients who are seeking dialysis because we could not buy consumables for the dialysis unit. Now, we had budgeted for the consumables in our budget. It was appearing in our budget. But the suppliers would say that they cannot supply because they have not been paid for the previous supplies. And that is how we ran into a crisis. That is why I say that it is still the role of the governor, because she has to authorize all the payments that are made from any department.
Thank you, Dr. Okay. Now I'd like to...
I had one more, short one. You indicated that you had these donors from Canada and they got frustrated and left. And then you also, at the end of the day, then had to close down all the dispensaries. But I wonder why you didn't put these two items that are very important in your statement. Because in your statement, there's nothing about these donors, and there's also nothing about you being ordered to close the dispensaries that actually led you to resign. Why didn't you put it in your statement?
I said that this was part of the abuse of office. When I alluded to in my statement about abuse of office, these are some of the explanations that I wanted to give regarding abuse of office.
Thank you, Dr. Now I'd like to ask Senator Beth Mugo, Commissioner, do you have anything? I hope you've been able to follow, and if you have anything to add, I'd like to give you an opportunity to do so now before we call in the next witness. Senator Mugo, can you hear me? Senator Beth, I think she's frozen. Okay, no problem. So thank you very much, Dr. Again, you've done your civic duty. This committee will look and determine what is contained in your statements and in your witness responses as well.
Thank you very much. Chair. And as I leave, I would like to urge this honorable committee and the whole Senate and the Assembly at large to seriously. I'm not talking about this motion. Okay. I'm talking about health now, okay. As a doctor. Okay. That universal health care, which is the president's big four agenda, one of the big four agenda, for it to be realized, we have to get serious about provision of primary health care. And when you close the dispensaries, then you do not provide primary health care. Mm-hmm. So as from a doctor's perspective, we are finding it very difficult that the government is intending to provide universal health care, but the governors are not helping.
Dr. Well noted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. Good. Honorable members, we'll